Hey guys, it's Charmise Idris here from Charmed Bath and Body, and today we're going to discuss how to deal with negative Etsy reviews. It happens to the best of us, honestly. You can have a great product and one day you pick up your phone and see that feedback and it's a 2-star rating, a 3-star rating, maybe even a 1-star rating, and you kind of panic. You kind of feel a little bit sad. You kind of want to quit just a little bit, but you have to realize there's a way you can handle it, and we're going to go over that right now. Okay, so first things first, for the people who may not know, you cannot delete an Etsy review. So the seller cannot delete a buyer's review. There are some reasons why you can report it. So one reason is if the language in it is obscene, harassing, or racist. Another reason you can report it is if it's out of the seller's control. So like if the review says, "The United States Postal Office threw my package on the roof. So angry, 1 star." That's not in your control. They stated that it was somebody else's fault, so you can report that. And there are a few other ways, a few other reasons why you can report reviews. I'll put that in the description below, as well as some other resources for this video in its entirety. So when you first get a negative review, the first thing you need to do is collect yourself. Especially if it's your first time getting a negative review. You may need to just sit there, read it, and read through it carefully, honestly. So sometimes I read through mine 2 to 3 times just to figure out what the actual issue was. Was it my fault? Was it somebody else's fault? Did they just not like it? I have to figure that out before I even respond to them. So when you do respond to them, you will respond to them privately, which is the next step. So read through it and then figure out what is the issue, understand the issue, and then respond to them privately. And when you respond to them, you need to be professional, kind, and reassuring. So in your message, first thing you need to do is let them know that you value their feedback. So, thank you so much for your feedback, and then apologize for the issue, whether it was your fault or, they just didn't get the package. You can apologize for that. And then next you need to explain what went wrong. If you know your explanation, explain what went wrong and then give them a fix for that issue. And throughout this whole process, you need to make sure you realize that customer service is key, especially on Etsy. Customer service is legitly key. So if you get a 3-star rating and you give that person great customer service quickly, like a few minutes after that negative review gets posted, if you give them great customer service, that 3-star rating can go to a 4 or a 5-star review without them even having their issue fixed. And if you have bad customer service, if you put it all on them, if you blame them, that 3-star can go down to a 1-star very easily. So they just don't like you and they don't like your product. So quick story time of an instance where I got a negative review and it was my fault, but I was able to fix it with being professional, reassuring, and kind. So long story short, I sell bath salt tubes, and in the wintertime they're perfectly fine. In the springtime they're perfectly fine. But once summer hit, something went wrong, and they were not looking the way that I sent them out. So basically I add Dead Sea salt to some of the scents just to make them look a little bit different than other ones. So I add Dead Sea salt, and I did not realize that this Dead Sea salt that I have been using the whole time, once it gets real humid, it starts to shrink and get all slushy and gross, and makes it look like that I didn't fill up the bath salt tube all the way. And I did not know that because it sits in my house. My house is air conditioned, so it's fine. But once it gets outside, then it's a whole different story. So I had a negative review about a batch that I sent out, I think in June, when it started getting hot here. I live in South Carolina, by the way, so it's humid. So I sent it out in June, and I got a 2-star review, I want to say, maybe been 3-star, probably 2 from the way they looked. But yeah, and it said that she was embarrassed that she ordered this and that they didn't come the way it was in the picture, and that she wouldn't order anything from my store, which I completely understand. At the time I did not. I was like, what happened? Like, what did I do? All my other reviews are 5-star and they say they look exactly like the picture. What happened to hers? So yeah, I had to investigate. But then that same day, I got a message from another customer. She didn't review, she just sent me a message and said that her tubes weren't completely full. And she sent me a picture of her tubes, and the ones with the Dead Sea salt were kind of like, I'd say 3/4 full, when the ones that didn't have Dead Sea salt were completely full. So I was able to figure out from looking at both of their orders, I was like, okay, so that's probably what happened. It's the Dead Sea salt. For whatever reason, I just won't use it anymore. And both these customers came from the same batch and they got their package the same day. So in my response to the customer that gave me the 2-star review about the bath salts, I was able to, you know, calm down. I was like, oh, because at first I didn't know what was going on, but I was able to calm down, collect myself, figure out what the issue was, and then I messaged her back and said I value her feedback and that I'm so sorry that that happened. And then I explained the situation with the Dead Sea salt and reassured her that it would not happen again. I'm going to change the recipe. You know, I explained the issue. And then I offered her a fix. So my fix was either you can get a refund, because sometimes, you know, these bath salt tubes are for like a baby shower or something and the baby shower passes. So what you need with 60 bath salt tubes. And then the other thing I did was I can resend them out to you. And I said the same thing to the other customer as well. So she let me know that she wanted me to resend them out, and I only needed to resend the ones that had the Dead Sea salt in them. And she was saying that she did not really want to leave that negative review, but she didn't know that she could message me directly and get the issue fixed. So she left a review, and that she did want to try out my mask at one point. So she did want to order from my store, but she was kind of afraid, which completely understandable, because if I get something that does not look like the picture, I have an attitude. Yeah, but being in customer service, I do understand that I can reach out to them and most of the time get the issue fixed. So yeah, and she also said that she was very happy that I had great customer service. So before I could even finish messaging her, she went and changed the review on her own. I did not ask her to change the review. She went and edited the review and let them know that I had great customer service and that I was going to send it out. And I think she changed that 2-star to a 4-star, which is great. Because I hadn't even done anything yet. And then so the next morning I sent out the bath salt tubes again, because I wanted to do it as quick as possible, because she ordered this before and we had to do this process again. So do it as quick as possible. And I also sent her a sample of my face masks, because they're not expensive and the issue was my fault in the first place. So any way that I can fix it, I will, because it's really not all about the review. It's about my customer. I want my customer happy, regardless if they're just messaging me directly or they're leaving a bad review. I want them to have a good idea or be positive about my company. And then when I saw that it was delivered to her, I messaged her again to ask her if, you know, the issue was much better, and she's like, oh yeah, much better. And she was happy that I sent out all the bath salt tubes, not just the messed up ones. So great customer service. So that's an instance where it was actually my fault, but there are other times where it's not your fault at all. There's times where the customer just didn't read the description and they don't like your product. Like I've had one where somebody ordered a charcoal face mask, but on that listing, I think the first thing it says is that it's not for overly sensitive skin. That person ordered it for their overly sensitive skin and it did not work well for them, so they left a negative review. But what I did was go ahead and message them and let them know that which ingredient in there was not for their skin type, and I let them know what mask would be for their skin type, and I asked them if they wanted me to send them a sample, because samples are cheap. Like, I can just send that out easily. So yeah, I asked them if they wanted a sample. She was fine with that. When she received it, she changed her review. Another time that I did not have to ask them. But sometimes, some people, they're going to be happy with your product when you resend it, but they'll keep the same review up for whatever reason. They may not think about it. They may not care to change it. But you may sometimes have to go out on a limb and ask them, would you consider changing that review, I honestly do not like to ask for people to change a review. But if it's like a 1-star review, you may have to step out on that ledge and ask them, like, because a 1-star review, once a customer sees that, that is like, you can have all 5 stars after that, but that 1 star at the top, people will not want to buy your product sometimes. So yes, you can be polite and ask them would they consider changing their review if, you know, if I send you something else, if I refund your purchase, or, you know, send you a coupon code. That's only when I get real desperate for a review change. And then there are other times where a customer may not have received their package. Even if you sent it out and you can look at the tracking information, it got stuck at one place or one distribution center, because I've seen that, especially during this pandemic, ball getting dropped a little more than usual. So yeah, that's not your fault, but you do need to let them know that you're going to get down to the bottom of it. I know with some products, you can't just send out another one. You know, it may be like a one-of-a-kind product. It may be a very expensive product, so you're not going to send it out. You're not going to refund it because you already did what you were supposed to do. USPS didn't. But you can always file a claim. You or your customer can file a claim with USPS if you can see that it's in their system and that they messed up. And then other times, customers may just need to wait just a little bit longer. Like if it says, you know, it's supposed to be delivered Friday, and it's Monday and it hasn't been delivered, let your customer know that they may want to wait just a few more days, because sometimes things get stuck at one center and they may be sent at a later date. But keep checking in with that customer to make sure that they get their package that they ordered. So sometimes that private response does not work. Whether, you know, you just have a customer who's just not going to be satisfied with what you do, or a customer who just does not want to change their review, or somebody who hasn't even seen your message, because some people just go on Etsy for one thing and one thing only, and they got it, they were disappointed, that's it. Like they don't go back and look at their messages, they don't look at the emails you sent. That's just it sometimes. So in that case, you can do a public response to their review. So I use this tactic last because you can only do it for stuff that is 3 stars or less. And once you put a public response on a review, the customer cannot change that review. So in that response, you don't want to play the blame game. You don't want to be, you know, emotional. You definitely don't want to be petty. You want to keep it short and let them know, you know, that you understand what the issue was. And then you need to explain how you tried to fix that issue. Because like I said, other customers or potential customers will be able to see that public response, and if they can see that you did try to fix that 1-star issue on your page, that helps them a little bit more. It's reassuring to the, you know, your potential customers, and it shows off your good customer service skills. So I do want to add this little tidbit of information. It's really not a tip, but just to let you know, some people are going to put a 4-star review no matter what. Like no matter how perfect that product was, they can say, oh my gosh, this is such an amazing product, it cleared my 16-year acne up, I love it, and put a 4-star review. I don't know why people do that. That's just the way it is. I've seen it on websites, I've seen it on other people's Etsy pages, I have it on my page. I just take it, I'm like, dang, I wish that was a 5-star, but I'm glad you liked it, I'm glad it worked out for you. So yeah, just remember that. So I just want to leave you with a few thoughts. First would be, don't let the negative outweigh the positive. So if you have way more positive reviews, say like 95 positive reviews, 4 and 5-star, and then you have like 5 negative reviews, to where it's like, you know, this didn't work for me, or I don't like it, don't focus on those 5-star. You can always message those people and ask them, oh, how can I make this better? But in your head, don't focus like, oh, these people don't like my product. Not everybody's gonna like what you have to offer. Some people don't even read the description well enough to know if it's for them. So focus on the good not on the bad. But at the same time, if you're getting way more negative reviews than positive reviews, it may be time to take a step back and look at your listing or your shop and figure out what's going on. You need to take that constructive criticism, only the constructive criticism. You need to take that constructive criticism and figure out what's wrong with your product. Maybe you're not even marketing it to the right people. Do some more testing and get that product back out there. That's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for, staying to this point. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. Thank you so much. Bye.